Good morning. My name is César Monzó. I'm a researcher of the Entomology Unit of the Valenciano Institute of Agricultural Research. Today I'm going to give a presentation about the role of biological control of the Asian citrus psyllid vector of Huanglongbing disease. First of all, I would like to give just some few points about Huanglongbing or Hilb. This disease is considered the most important of citrus. It impacts directly to the vigor of the plant, reducing the tree productivity, and if no measures are taken, trees become unproductive in just a period of around 2 to 7 years. At the present, there are no varieties of rootstocks that are tolerant or resistant to this disease. Biotechnology cannot neither offer, at the short term, an efficient solution, and curative remedies for the bacteria, such as the use of antibiotics, are not cost-effective and cannot be implemented. For all these reasons, the management of Huanglongbing pathosystems mostly relies on the management of the insects that are transmitting and spreading this disease, its vectors. Diaphorina citri, commonly known as the Asian citrus psyllid, is one of the two known vectors of this disease. The identification in the field of this insect is relatively easy because adults that can be found in all the leaves of the trees have this specific pattern of stains in the wings, as we can see in the picture. Eggs and nymphs are only found on the new tender tissue of the shoots or flashes that appear in the trees during the growing season. Eggs are yellow, elongated and pointed, and nymphs are also yellow, turning to an orange or green yellowish colors in the later developmental stages. The management of Hilb vectors, and therefore of the Huanglongbing pathosystem, mostly relies on the use of insecticides. Because of the severity of this disease, those insecticide programs are really intensive, with monthly or even weekly applications for the control of the vector. Of course, this management approach totally is against the principles of integrated pest management. And for this reason, in all the areas where Huanglongbing and in this case the Asian citrus psyllids are present, it is important to try to develop management strategies that are compatible with integrated pest management principles. Biological control can be an important tool for the regulation of Diaphorina citri populations. In this sense, the conservation of the natural resources that offer citrus agroecosystems, what is called conservation biological control, can be an important ecological service to reduce the populations of this vector. We already know that generalist predators associated to citrus contribute importantly to the mortality of Diaphorina citri populations, as well as to other citrus key pests that are present in the same ecosystem. Among the most important generalist predators associated to Diaphorina citri, we have, for example, different species within the order Neuroptera, such as lacewings in the family Chrysopidae. Adults are also easy to identify with their elongated and green body and the complex network of venation that we can find in their wings. Larvae, that are actually the predators, have large mandibles that they use to catch their prey. Eggs can be found hanging from these stalks, in the leaves of the tree. Within Neuroptera, we have other groups of predators, as for example brown lacewings. Adults are similar, in a way to the green lacewings, but they have a brown color and they are smaller. And larvae can be found also predating different species of Hemiptera. Coccinellids, ladybugs or ladybirds, are probably considered the most important group of predators of Diaphorina citri. It has been described more than 5,000 species of coccinellids worldwide, and they are also easy to identify, because they have a dorsal convex part and a flat ventral part. Here in this picture, we can find different species of coccinellids that are associated to citrus agroecosystems. As we can see, there is a huge variety of sizes and also patterns and colors in the elytra, the wings of the coccinellids. Other predators that has been traditionally associated to Diaphorina citri are spiders. Also, within this big group of predators, we have different families that can be found associated to Diaphorina. A lot of times, the role of these predators are not well considered, and one of the things is because we are not able to assess their contribution to the regulation of the populations of Diaphorina citri. When we are conducting research, we try to give a value to this predation using different kinds of approaches, as for example the exclusion studies, as we can see in the picture. In this case, what we have are different experimental units. The one on the top does not allow the entrance of predators, while the experimental unit on the bottom of the picture allows the presence of predators. So we can see how much the predators are contributing to the reduction of the populations of a colony of Diaphorina citri that is in the flash that is being analyzed. From this experimentation, what we can see in this graph is actually predation, at least in Florida, can importantly contribute to the reduction of the populations of Diaphorina citri. Actually, during spring and summer, at mid-spring and summer, predators are able to reduce in a 90% the populations of the vector Diaphorina citri. This is even irrespective of the intensity of the insecticide programs. But when the role of predators is not so important at the end of the winter, beginning of the spring, in those cases, biological control can be even more important if we are not following intensive insecticide programs. So what is the conclusion? So it is important to reduce the intensity of the insecticide programs for the control of Diaphorina citri if we actually want to reincorporate biological control services. In this sense, if we want to reduce the frequency of insecticide applications in the regions where we have Huanglongbing. It is important to reincorporate biological control as a management tool. Actually, in a study that we developed at the University of Florida, we estimated that just losing these ecological services probably increases per season the cost of the management of the Asian citrus psyllid in more than $200 million just in Florida Peninsula. This is giving us an idea of the importance of this management strategy. Classical biological control, the one that is owed to the importation of specialist exotic natural enemies, is also an important approach that is being implemented in the United States for the management of Diaphorina citri. Specifically, there is a parasitoid that is called Tamarixia radiata that has been imported, and it's been reared artificially both in Florida and California and released to reduce the populations of Diaphorina citri. Finally, if we want to recover the integrated pest management strategies in the citrus industry in those areas where Hilb is present, it is important to create a criterium of spread based on the populations, on the amount of the vector that we have in the growth. In this sense, if we incorporate biological control, we will have a reduction of the populations and therefore a reduction on the frequency of insecticides applications, with all the benefits that this gives for the human health and also for the environment. Thank you very much for your attention.